What's up, everybody? I'm back, and today I have a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Steve Uncle Creepy Barton. I am recently the executive producer of Terrifier 2, and I worked on a bunch of other shit too. So, yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. So I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
Did you expect Terrifier 2 to blow up as it did, or were you expecting the movie just to be another indie movie that people forgot about in one day?
Well, it's really interesting. When it came to Terrifier 2, we were making that movie for the fans of Terrifier 1, We thought that we know we made a good movie, and we knew that it had the possibility of being able to reach a larger audience should they give it a chance, but we never in a million years would have expected it to be as big as it became. And that's all because of fans like yourself and everybody who showed up. And it's a blessing. Sometimes it still feels very much like a dream.
Yes, like with Terrify for me, I started watching the All Hallow Eve, and then I watched Terrifier 1, and then that's how I got into really appreciating the movie itself. And ever since, the world shut down, I was really excited for Terrifier 2, and really, seeing how seeing when the movie gonna come out, and seeing how everything was gonna play out. And then when I found out that it got the tribute to a movie theater, I literally went to a movie theater about 35 35 minutes to 40 minutes away from where I live. And that
Thank
to support a movie like this. And then after that, um, I worked at a movie theater. Though I told them, are you playing Terrifier? And they told me, yes, we are, but we only played it for one day. Then after that, my movie theater I worked at started playing the movie. Though I almost got emotional. I said, this what I'm talking about. You have all these movies out there that do the same thing over and over again. You have a bunch of teenagers. They get raped. They get drunk. They do their thing, and then the movie is predictable. You know what's gonna happen next. But with Terrifier, you really don't know what's gonna happen next. Your heart is beating 500 miles an hour, and everything around you is like, what am I watching? And how can it get stuck in my brain for a long time? And that's what Terrifier made me feel. It made me feel like I was going through a marathon, but the marathon wouldn't stop running. And with those type of horror movies, they really make your blood pump. It really does make you think. And that's what I truly love about Terrifier and indie movies in general.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for supporting the movie as much as you did. It really warms our hearts when we find out that people did take really long trips to go see it at first before it started opening wider. We only thought we were going to be in the theaters for like a day or so. We didn't find out until the following Monday that they were going to keep us. We never in a million years would have dreamt that we would have made over $1 million in just 850 theaters at that time on opening weekend. So I think that Damien has a very clear object of what he wants to do, and I think that because of that, he makes the story as compelling as possible. And one of the keys to Art the Clown's success is to keep that character as unpredictable and as funny and engaging as possible so people can watch the movie but never really know what he's going to do until he does it.
So my next question is with 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 low budget horror like Teen in the Ring and The Outer Water and people finding out about low budget horror movie, what do you think about it? Do you think it opening the door for indie horror movie, or do you think that possibly Terrifier was just a one time thing to really open the door for indie horror, or do you think horror is really coming back to its root and really starting to realize that there need to be a change in how we look at horror movies, and there need to be a more subtle way to really get to somebody's thing without doing the same thing over and over again.
That's a really good question. We talked about that once Terrifier started being successful, because this was about as unconventional a theatrical release as you could get. I mean, a completely unrated horror movie opening as wide as it did. That's 2.5 hours long. It had everything about Terrifier 2 made it seem not movie theater friendly. And we never expected the movie to be as embraced as it was, and we're so thankful for that. And I think that the movie industry is it's a monster of repetition. So when something works, people want to get 10 more of them out there. So I think that because Terrifier proved successful, maybe we can be the catalyst for people opening up the doors and taking chances on other indie horror movies. If it was any movie that did what Terrifier did, that was as successful as Terrifier 2 was, any horror movie, we'd be just as happy, just because, if it makes it easier for really talented indie filmmakers to get their work out there, and if as a result of Terrifier's success it makes it easier for that to happen, then we couldn't be more honored to be the ones to open up that door. It means so much to us. It means almost as much to us as the movie's success did. And the movie's success, we owe that to all of you guys, to you, to the other fans who supported it. You guys have been there every step of the way with us, and we couldn't be more humble and we couldn't be more happy about that.
Thank you. So anybody who haven't seen Terrify really, had anybody, have you witnessed anybody who haven't seen Terrifier and thinking, oh, did not horror, did the movie that glorified on blood and killing people and really don't have a purpose, because once part two came out, it seemed like everybody there was a misconnecting. A bunch of people loved it, and then a bunch of people said, "Oh, this movie does not have a story or plot. It does, it glorified on blood and the that factor." But and how do you feel about that? Do you think that's true, or do you think that they're not true?
I think that basically the most exciting thing about the horror genre is there's so many different elements and so many different subgenres within it. So there's something for everybody within the horror genre. In terms of the original Terrifier, we'll be the first ones to admit there wasn't a lot of story in that movie. So what we did with part two is Damien tried to create a nice story that people could get into, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to please everybody. And we weren't trying to please everyone. The only thing we wanted to do and we wanted to try to do was create a movie that was as good as we possibly could make it. We just were focusing on just making a good movie, you know, and we made the best movie that we can, that we could have. And that was our sole purpose. That's what we wanted to do. Just make the best movie that we can. Some people like it. That's great. People don't like it. That's great too. You know, at least we're happy that people gave it a chance, whether they liked it or they didn't like it. The fact that anybody, whether they loved it or they hated it, took the time to watch it is so wonderful to us. And we're eternally grateful that anybody paid attention to it.
So can you tell the viewers a little bit, if you can, any information about part three, about Terrify, or anything involving part three? Because because I'm curious, and a lot of other people are really curious to know what direction you guys are taking, because that post any scene in I believe a mental asylum or a hospital, I believe, really set up something that I don't know what to expect. So can you tell anybody about anything, any news about part three?
Um, we have a lot of ideas for part three and a lot of exciting directions that it's going to take. Damien has not outdone himself yet, so we you can expect to see even more gorier kills and more craziness from Art the Clown. And I think when part three comes out and people realize, you know, when what it is and the direction we take, we think we're gonna surprise people. We think everyone's gonna like it. And again, I mean the same thing. You know, when it came to part two, the way the fans embraced the original movie was very special to us. So with part two, we wanted to give the fans something special back. And we think that we did that. And when it comes to part three, it's going to be that same mindset. Make the movie for our fan base. We understand what they like about it, we understand what they don't like about it. And once again, the mission above and beyond anything is to make the best movie that we can, the same way that we made the first two movies, and that's independently. You're never going to see a big movie studio behind a Terrifier movie. So these movies are made strictly for the fans, and we're fans ourselves, you know. So as long as it's as long as its heart is in the right place, and that's for love of the genre, I think when Terrifier 3 does come out, people will be very happy with it. I can't say what it's about. I can't say the direction we're taking. To be honest with you, a lot of that is Damien. You know, he has to come up with all this stuff. You know, and while he did share some of his ideas with us, you know, it's up to him to tell people how much of it he wants to. You know, so those are questions mainly for him. But I can tell you that it's going to be just as crazy as part two, maybe even crazier.
Yeah, like also, as a movie fan, I have been really picturing, if you die through that picture by a company for to distribute the movie, what would be the best what would be the best company to really make sure that the movie did not go like unappreciated, or tell you that, listen, you cannot do this or you cannot do that. um like I feel
Um,
like there are two companies.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
there were two
I'm
companies
listening.
out there were two companies out there that I truly feel like would be really good. Blumhouse, because Blumhouse, what they did with Megan was really just amazing on how they really did that. And then you have A24. A24 is really a company that does multiple movies and really really, like know how to make the fan make different movies work without anybody interfering with that. So what do you feel about that?
Uh, when we do, it's funny. When we did Terrifier 2, we were like, oh, go as far as you want. No one's ever going to see this in a theater. Uh, we're not going to compromise. Whoever distributes part 3, whether it be Bloody Disgusting and Screambox again or whomever, the movie's going to have to be as is. We're not going to cut it. We're not going to let anyone tell us what to do. We're going to make the movie. We're going to make Terrifier 3, not somebody's version of Terrifier 3. You know what I mean? We want it to be
Yeah.
good and as undiluted as the first 2 movies were. And I'm not sure any studio, any bigger studio, whether it be a major studio like Universal or a smaller studio like A24, I'm not sure that they would let us be as crazy as we're going to be. So it remains to be seen. Who knows? I mean, the movie successful was a surprise to us, so maybe this one will be a surprise too as to who distributes it. I don't know. The only thing I could say is we're gonna swing for the fences and hopefully give another really really bloody home run.
Yeah, like to be honest with you, like horror in general, that from the past 2 years had been really amazing. So like, what horror movies are you excited for this year to come out, and what horror movies are you interested in seeing this year?
I just saw Megan. I loved Megan. I thought Megan was a lot of fun. I'm interested in seeing the new Scream, of course. We'll see. Right now we're all just a little tired. You know what I mean? Because it was like riding a roller coaster for 3 months straight, and that's the best problem I could ever hope to have in my life. So thank God. But right now we're looking forward to Skinamarink, or at least I'm looking forward to Skinamarink. Again, Scream. We listen, as horror fans, we have a curse. We have to see everything. So whatever is in the theater is what I'll go to see, and whatever is coming out streaming, I'll be happy to go check that out too. I love this stuff. We all love this stuff. So good or bad, the movie's gonna have my support. But right now, I think the biggest movie I'm looking forward to is the new Scream, because I love that franchise and I love the direction they're taking. And hey, now it's in my hometown of New York, so I'm excited to see what Ghostface does in the city.
Yeah, like that one team into the Rattly. I'm actually really into the every horror movie, but I'm really interested in teen movie because I'm on vacation right now in Puerto Rico, and when I found out that teen movie was going to be playing here, I said, oh, this is very interesting. How a horror company that low budget can distribute a movie like this to a different country, and how for only 2 days only it almost completely sold out. So it's gonna be interesting because I know nothing about the movie. All I know is that a lot of people been saying it's tough, and people have left the movie in tears because of how intense it is, and how it very experimental. And to be honest with you, as a horror fan, I love horror movies that are experimental, like Terrifier. It experimental because it playing with people's minds, and it playing with the alluding that, oh, you have this killer. We don't know if it a supernatural, a human. So it really playing with people's mind, and really diving deep into people's field and people's nightmares, and also giving them the most intense and most worried moment that people have seen. And that's why I love horror, because it shows the audience feel, it brings feel, and it brings memories back, either good or either bad, and that's how I love. That's what I love about horror. It brings in more. It brings in conversations, and it brings in a lot of different elements.
Right. I agree with you. It's one of the reasons I love the genre too. Like I said, there's something for everybody, you know, and I think it's great. I think horror movies, what sets them apart from other movies is horror is one of the only genres that's based upon a human feeling. You can feel horror. You could be horrified, and I think that's one of the things that makes it wonderful. That makes it so popular. That makes people seek these movies out. And honestly, as you said, the last couple of years for horror movies have been really good, both in theaters and on TV. So I couldn't be happier, and I couldn't be more excited for what's to come.
So how does it feel going to horror convention and seeing all the fans that really supported Terrifier? And do you have a story that touched your heart with a fan of Terrifier? And what was the youngest what was the youngest person, like 5 or 6 or 10, who have supported Terrifier? What is
I
the story that you can tell the audience that just touch your heart?
There's a couple actually. Number one, it's amazing to get to the conventions and hang out with the fans because the fans are a big part of this. And we are fans. And not only were the fans on the ride with us for Terrifier 2, you guys were in the same car with us. We had no idea what was going on, and we were finding out stuff just the same time as you were. But at shows, I've seen little kids, 5, 6 years old, dressed up like Art the Clown. I've seen little girls dressed up like the Pale Girl, and we think that's amazing and so humbling. But if I had to pick a story that really touched my heart, the movie when the movie first came out that weekend, one of the fans wrote me, and she said that her dad was dying of a stage 4 cancer and was terminal. And the last thing they did together was go see Terrifier 2 in the theaters. And just to know that for that particular set of people, that our movie helped them create some memories, some happy memories in a really tough time, I think that has been one of the most gratifying things about this whole ride. And I'm so happy and I'm so glad we were able to do that because at the end of the day, all we have are the people we love. And we want to spend time with the people we love. And to think that their time was running out and what they wanted to do more than anything was use it to see our movie, that's just incredible.
And are you working on anything right now except for Terrifier?
Yeah, you know, it's been finally this month we've finally been able to slow down a little bit and really take it all in because October is a complete blur. November is a blur. You know, December was pretty much finally starting to calm down, and now we can breathe. So what we're doing is we're using this time to rest up, and then we'll get back to it. We'll see what we're gonna do next.
And like and so with everything you guys done with Terrifier, the most iconic scene for me in part 2 was the Clown Cafe. So any story involving that, the meaning behind the mirror,
Well,
with all the little children, because I do have a theory about that really interesting.
Damien kind of explained exactly what the Clown Cafe scene was on the commentary for Terrifier 2. So any theories you want or you have could be confirmed there. But to be honest with you, that's been one of the coolest thing about this was seeing fans come up with these theories and what they think this means and what they think that means. It's very exciting for us, you know. And some of them are right on, some of them are a little off, some of them are way off, but all of them are awesome, you know. And I think the one thing we're happy about the Clown Cafe song is now the rest of the world can live with the song because it's been in our ears for months. So now that we get to share that and everyone else can't get it out of their heads, we feel a lot better.
Yeah, like my theory about that the scene itself and the picture with the little children, I feel like somewhat Art was a human being, and he was a performer for tea parties, and something must have clicked or something must have happened for him to wanted to kill people, and in that scene when he had the hedge of the character when he went to the house, and he would imitating to the little children. You notice that his only weakness in not killing little children and only killing adult and teenagers. So I felt that was really interesting, and it felt a little bit like Michael Myers that his only weakness was not killing little children. So like I really felt like that was my theory about the clown cafe.
Hmm. It's an interesting theory. I like it. Yeah, Art likes kids, you know? Art has as crazy as he is, maybe somewhere deep inside he has a good heart or a soft spot for children. I don't know. Only Damien does. And you know what? I think that as Damien goes on and he tells his story, I think a lot of people may be surprised, and a lot of people maybe be like, "Oh, I knew it all the time." But we have to wait and see what Damien wants to do first. But yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
theory. I
so
like it.
so what Damien did about the original ending was supposed to be something more, but you guys cut it out because of another movie from James Wan towards I don't remember the name, but it was another movie that came out, and you guys have already filmed it already and already have it. Will the scene ever will that scene ever come out, or you guys can't use it?
You never say never. Maybe one day. We don't know. You know, the movie you're talking about is *Malignant*, and the
Yeah,
original idea was to have Art really come out of Vicky at the end, but you know, again, *Malignant* came out. They did it wonderfully. James Wan is an incredible director, and so we felt like we should go in a different way. And I think we found a more fun way to go. And I don't know when there's a lot of stuff people hasn't haven't seen. Maybe one day there'll be a super collector's edition that'll have all that stuff. Only time will tell.
yeah. Only time will tell. And will you guys ever do a movie based on any other characters from Or Hallowed Eve, because Or Hallowed Eve had some really interesting characters in there. So I would love to see another character that the limelight.
Hmm. That's up to Damien. You know, All Hallows Eve, very much his baby. Yeah, there's some exciting things in All Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve was a lot of fun. I love All Hallows Eve. And if he ever wants to revisit that world, we'll be right there to help him.
Yeah, and also like, are you working on any project yourself outside of the Terrifier universe, or no?
Yeah, I have several projects I'm working on. One of them is an anthology with Jed Shepard, who did Host, with Josh Stolberg, who did Saw, Alex, who did Sound of Violence, Blair Bathory, Sebastian Bazille. We're working on an anthology to get Dave McInerney's involved in that, and yeah, that should be going into production hopefully soon. But beyond that, I have several other projects in various states of production that I can't really talk about just yet.
Oh wow! Like and your main focus is only horror movies, or will you ever branch out?
No, I'm very happy staying in the world of horror movies. Horror movies are where my heart is. That's what I love. So for me to make anything but horror movies, I wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, it's like horror to me had a really good place because it like it really showed a lot of different elements. So like explain some of the cartoons because when I went to the convention in Pennsylvania, I saw a lot of people dressing up at the pale door. So like what how did that get started with using the pale girl and having art have like the mini me with him.
That again, that was all Damien. Damien wanted to create a universe for art to live in, and art is a demon, so he wanted to show people that there were other demons. In terms of the look and why the pale girl and art are just black and white is Damien loved Stephen King's It, and he loved Pennywise, but Pennywise, especially the Tim Curry Pennywise, was very colorful. He would have, the red hair and the big red nose and the colorful costume. So for his evil clown, he wanted to go in the opposite direction. And instead of having color, just create something with black and white and stick to that. And apparently, in Damien's world and in his vision, that's what these demons are. They're very simple, they're very black and white. They're not colorful, and they're mean as hell. So yeah, we'll see if maybe one day there'll be even more of them. Who knows?
Yeah, and like and also like like with Terrifier really blowing up. What do you see in the future? Like, do you see them possibly making a TV show, doing more toys? What do you see in the future from your eyes?
I'm sure there'll be more collectibles. I don't know if we're ever gonna get to a point where we could do a TV series. I don't think any channel would put us on the air, given how violent these movies are. And what makes the Terrifier, what Terrifier is really known for is the blood and guts. So if you don't have those blood and guts, you don't have a Terrifier property. So I don't know if TV's ready for that yet.
Yeah, and did you know beforehand what you were getting yourself into when you did make part one of Terrifier? Did you know that the movie was gonna be before part two came out?
I had a feeling that it was gonna do well, and there was just I mean, I watch a lot of horror movies. Back then I was doing Dread Central, and when Terrifier came across my desk, there was just something about it, and I knew that it was good. I knew the character was great, and I knew that it had legs and it could go someplace. But I mean, that's why I was like, well, I have to be there for Terrifier too. Uh, Again, nobody expected it to blow up as big as it did. I mean, we all had a feeling that we had something, but this whole situation has just been so crazy and so wonderful. And it's been the best time of our lives. So thank you for that. Thank you, all of you, for that.
And I want to thank you for coming on today and really sharing your input about Terrifier and really, you know, making this movie for the fan and really knowing what you guys are doing. Like I can't thank you enough for everything you guys have done, and the amount of people I met from the community that are now done that I now communicate with, and that's making industry grow.
Yeah, I mean, you're very welcome. We're again, we wouldn't be here without you guys, and I really want to thank you for taking your time to sit down and talk to me about this movie. Believe me, Bob, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, and one more thing. With how Terrifier is doing and how you guys are taking a break. What is the next goal? On maybe getting the fans excited for part three. How can the fans show their support on really making Terrifier 3 happen, and how can we wait? Because to be honest with you, I want part three now. I can't wait this long. So how can the fans support the movie, and how can we anticipate it, and how can we help the movie more?
Just keep doing what you're doing. You're already doing it. We hear you. We listen to everything. We watch everything. We're grateful that you all are so excited and are anticipating part three so much. And we just hope that we can live up to it for you. And as long as we're all breathing, we're going to do everything we can to reward you for all the love and all the support you've given us, because it truly, truly means the world to us. So just keep doing what you're doing,
And I
man.
want to thank you for coming on.
Of course, man.
Yes, and I
Anytime.
want to thank you so. And you have a good day.
You too. Thank you,
Bye.
Bob. Have it there, okay? My pleasure.
You
Talk to you
too.
soon. Bye bye.
Bye. And thank you guys so much for coming on today and for listening to the video. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that subscribe button to be notified when I upload new video. More videos to come. Peace.